Dawn. That one Pokemon character dressed up in a strawberry donut with a funny blue penguin and enough confidence to knock out Joe Yabuki. But why exactly is Dawn awesome, and how did she become who she is today? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? With Dawn making her return in the Pokemon anime, 400 plus episodes, and nearly a decade since she last appeared, it dawned on me that it would be a great time to continue my Pokemon character backstory series that I kicked off last year, so be sure to check out the rest of those backstories because they are pretty interesting and pretty inspiring. As for Dawn, yes, she is certainly one of the most popular gals in series history, and for good reason, as during her adventures with main character number 1 and the Brockrock, she consistently put smiles on the faces of fans with her optimism, confidence, and overall likability. So today, we want to answer the question, why is Dawn so awesome? And in order to get to that answer, I would like to 1. Discuss her backstory, and 2, as we often do, draw a couple very important takeaways out of that backstory. And as always, it is going to be a fun time, so kindly request your Brockrock to simp for that like button like its name is Joy, and let's jump right in. To establish some context around how different Dawn is from other companions, beyond Dawn having more of a friendly equal-to-equal relationship with Ash than the mentor-to-apprentice relationship of Ash and May, or the mentor-to I'm going to wear your clothes and you're going to like it relationship of Ash and Serena, we should point out that Dawn's journey itself is markedly different from that of the other 2 coordinators in terms of where she started and also how she transformed. Namely, whereas the early stretches of the journeys of May and Serena were characterized by a troubling lack of clarity around what they should even be doing with their lives, as they struggled to discover their own dreams while being in the midst of baking Pokeblocks and simping for Ash. Dawn knew exactly what she wanted to do from square one, so it was simply a matter of just do it. But sometimes just doing it isn't as easy as slapping on a pair of blazers and walking to the convenience store to get some milk and never coming back, and that is why Dawn's story is so compelling. As the daughter of a woman who won the Sinnoh Grand Festival to become a top coordinator in her youth, Dawn had a legacy of greatness at her back and was eager to follow in her mother's footsteps. And as we mentioned, unlike May or Serena, she already had a dream from the very beginning, to become a top coordinator just like her mom. Of course, a dream is nothing more than a bunch of brain baloney until you actually put in the hustle to make it real, but Dawn was up to the challenge and set out to get the job done. And perhaps because of her mother's achievements, Dawn seemed quite confident in her own abilities despite the fact that she had never tested her own mettle as a coordinator. Confidence and optimism are Dawn's key qualities, but at times she did get cockier than a cock farm and would nearly Dunning-Kruger herself out of existence at one point as a result. Basically, Dawn's career got off to a good start. She made it into the second round of the Jubilife contest in her debut and actually won her second contest in Florama Town. Naturally, this gave her a Ketchum-style ego boost that got her fired up for her next competition, but unfortunately, while it is easy to dunk on the Peewees, it is an entirely different thing to dunk on spoony bards and people with sunglasses on their heads, and the Dawn train was about to get derailed. In the next competition, the Hearthrome competition, Dawn was confident that she would sail through to the finals based on her early career wins and was quick to claim that the ribbon was as good as hers. And then the first round performance stage results came in and she discovered that she would be packing it in early that night. Her rival Zoe would go on to take second place and Nando would snag the contest ribbon that she had told everyone she already had in the bag. She was devastated, and although she initially lashed out about it, she soon slumped into a state of depression that would define her existence over the next stretch of the anime. Sad Dawn. At this point in their respective series, May and Serena had only just discovered their dreams, but Dawn, who had already been running towards hers at pace, had just fallen face first into the pavement. Regardless of a pep talk from Zoe, the Dawn we saw thereafter was much more skeptical of her own abilities. And when she took another fat L in the Solaceon contest's first round, she got knocked out in more ways than one. Metaphorically bodied by her own unrealistic expectations and her failure to meet them, it must have felt like the curtains were about to close on her quest to become a top coordinator, and her half-hearted smile couldn't hide that. She even commented to the Kenny who doesn't die in every episode that she may not even bother participating in the next contest, to which Kenny basically told her to shut up and keep at it. Attaboy Kenny. And in the next episode, wherein they visited the Mountain Hut Maid Cafe and Brock simped for French maids, Dawn broke down into tears as she watched Ash preparing for his next battle. Dawn was overconfident, Dawn was beaten, Dawn was broken. And yes, it was time for a redemption arc. And when it comes to redemption arcs in the Pokemon anime, Dawn's arc is rock solid. After the 2 in a row trashing, Dawn is down in the dumps until about a third of the way through Diamond and Pearl's story when she encounters Maylene, the gym leader of Veilstone City Gym. Coincidentally, Maylene was also in a rut at the time, and the two were able to confide in one another and share their insecurities. Moreover, Dawn wanted to help Maylene bounce back, and thus she surprised everyone by challenging her to a gym battle. For someone who had never been focused on conventional battles, Dawn dazzled everyone with her contest-inspired moves, and although Maylene's Lucario edged out Piplup for the victory, both trainers came out of the experience feeling refreshed and regaining their confidence. Out of Dawn's kindness came a heartwarming moment of redemption, and she thereafter got back to her training with renewed vigor while keeping her ego in check. As we know, she would go on to storm the Wallace Cup and dunk on May's Moonlight Knight cosplay so hard that she evolved into Big May, potato-sacked Lila, who probably should have been included on the hottest Pokemon anime women ranked list, to win the Celestic contest, lost the Lily Pad contest on account of her freshly evolved big pig mammoth thing running amok, but took it in stride, impressed her mother with her progress at the annual Twin Leaf Festival, mission completed the Daybreak Town contest, etc., and of course, progressed all the way to the finals of the Sinnoh Grand Festival, where she would ultimately lose to her friend and rival, Zoe. After starting her career on a high note, letting confidence get the best of her, and having her soul crushed by consecutive defeats, Dawn was reborn through her interaction with Maylene and took any further losses as motivation to up her game and simply hit harder in the next contest. She became more confident and more focused than ever, but left the hubris in the back mirror, and it was good. And of course, following the Sinnoh Grand Festival, she met with her mother and returned the ribbon given to her at the beginning of her journey, telling her mom that she no longer had to walk in her mother's shadows, that she would step out on her own and shine together with her Pokemon. She soon after left to Hoenn, the birthplace of contests, to further develop herself, and has since crossed paths with Ash in Unova as well as in Sinnoh, every bit as confident and optimistic as ever. Dawn is awesome because of how her confidence and optimism lift up the cast, and also for how her and Ash bounce ideas off one another and influence each other's strategies on the pitch. But here are a couple important takeaways that I got from Dawn's story. Confidence is one of Dawn's key attributes, but I think the blowout at Hearthome and her subsequent depression are pretty good indicators of how dangerous it is to let yourself get carried away in your misconceptions about your own abilities, as across the journeys we undergo to become the very best like no one ever was, we are certainly going to taste both the highs and the lows of life. And if you think you are entitled to just rack up easy win after easy win, well, Dawn, for example, didn't go into her earlier contests with a balanced view of her own capabilities or areas for improvement, expected victory, and as a result, found herself teetering on the edge of colossal failure. Fortunately, through her interaction with Maylene, she seemed to remember that she isn't the type to let herself become mired in the mistakes of the past, and her glowing optimism, combined with tempered confidence, would set her up for success. You can have a family legacy, natural talent, and a solid track record, but staying humble, identifying and accepting your own flaws, and grinding every day to become a better version of yourself are what will bring you continued success in the future. Once Dawn became focused on her next steps and started moving forward with the mindset to consistently work hard and better herself, she really took off as a coordinator, and surely she is far from finished. In conclusion, Dawn is an optimistic, confident character who looked up to someone incredible and wanted to become someone incredible herself. Along the way, she came up against tough external and internal challenges and succumbed to her character flaws, but ultimately managed to come out on top while delighting viewers all along the way. And that is why I think Dawn is awesome. But how about you? What are your favorite Dawn moments in the Pokemon anime? Are you optimistic, confident? What kind of future are you working towards? And are you grinding hard towards that future every day? I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a healthy, happy, and safe week. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, let's chat.
What?